Night Fuchs in the house. I decided to do a late night video for YouTube. Uh, been a few days. Dealing with just went through the heat in my neck of the woods and cold front passed this evening, so it was a nice relief. But I thought I'd share something for people out there that if you're looking to stay cool and do something affordable, kids may like this for families, something cheap. But dollar store, Kool Pops, 20 for a buck. Um, nice way to keep cool for cheap, I guess. And then if kids have friends or something, or a group of people, it ain't bad. And I know there's better deals probably on those. I just, for myself, I saw them and I'm like, hey, why not? But a nice little way to cool off and, flavored ices, I guess you want to say. And like I say, 20 for a buck, not a bad deal. Somewhat of a cheap treat for people out there, saving some money maybe. Gonna do movies tonight. I'm gonna do a few westerns and then a couple action movies. All of the movies are rated above 5. Doing a couple spaghetti westerns and then one modern western. And I feel like when you watch a western, I don't know if you back in the day, the film was more like gritty or it just wasn't a clean video. And I don't know, today's westerns, some of them the film's too clear and it just doesn't have that western feel that when you watched a movie back in the day, kind of. I don't know, that's just me on thoughts like that. First one, I am going to. Oh, and one of the movies I was going to do, and I'm glad I checked on this, but all of a sudden I'm watching it. I'm like, I think I watched this. A Gun for 100 Graves. And this was also known as A Pistol for 100 Graves. I was watching the movie and I'm like, I think I watched this. And I ended up doing a search. And yes, I did a YouTube video back in February on it. So don't have to worry about that one or covering that. What I'm going to start with is A Long Ride from Hell. And this also was called I Live for Your Death. Basically, a brother acts revenge for the death of his brother in prison. And it's a decent, like I say, spaghetti western. Actor in here, Steve Reeves. And I've done movies with him. He's done Gladiator movies. He was a famous bodybuilder. I guess he's still considered one of the famous bodybuilders even today from back in the day. But I saw it and I'm like, yeah, why not? I'll give it a shot. It isn't a bad movie. It was done in 1968 and it got a 6.2 or does have a 6.2 rating, which falls in line. I think all these movies are average to watch. They're above average. And yeah, I think the scores are good. I'm going to even raise some. But again, Steve Reeves, he died in 2000. And again, famous bodybuilder. And like I say, he did the Roman movies like Hercules. I think he did some of those type of movies, which he was kind of famous for. But I saw the Western. I thought, let's give it a shot. And Wayde Preston was in this, and he died in 1992. But he did a version of, he wasn't Captain America, but he was in the movie. Back in 1990, they did a version of that. And I almost want to say I saw that one back in the day. That was a long time ago, but can't really remember it that well. Next one, Aces and Eights. This one is a modern movie, 2012. Shoot, I'm sorry, I got that mixed up. 2008, it had a 5.6. Basically, an old landowner, land baron's trying to take his land. storyline from other westerns, kind of. But Ernest Borgnine was in this, and he died in 2012, so that's where I got that date when I said that. So my apologies on that. And Ernest Borgnine did some movies until 2011. He was in a bunch, and one of them was Snatched. He was a actor that played good guys, bad guys, and he was one thing that he liked doing is coming to Milwaukee and doing the city festival parade, and he would dress up as a clown. It's something, or no, circus parade. The world's the circus parade. I correct myself on that. Kind of doing this ad libbing, which I usually do for the most part. But yeah, it's something he was. For me, one of his movies that got me was a movie called Willard, dealing with rats, and his Willard comes to his apartment, and all of a sudden, all these rats start. And he goes, "Oh, look at all the rats!" And yeah, it just goes crazy from there. Off the beaten path, and just something I remember when I was a kid is when it was first, I was like, "Oh my god!" And then Bruce Boxleitner is in this, and I mentioned, I think, The Gambler he was in, and he's recently been on Supergirl. Again, Aces and Eights, again, a movie that's worth watching. Now, the next one is a Western, but the rest of them are going to be kind of fun movies, I think. I think the ratings should be a little bumped up on all three of these movies that I'm going to go over, but I just watched Seven Guns for the MacGregors, and this was a comedy Western, and it's just the dubbing was bad. I'll give it that, but it was entertaining. It had action, it had comedy in it. It kept your attention. The beginning is the sons are the ones that are doing the business and stuff, but in the beginning the parents are older and they're fending off an attack, and it's just hilarious. The husbands and wives, these elderly couples, just shooting away like it's nothing, and it's like, oh my, it's funny. And then at the end of the movie they come to help, and I kind of was like, yeah, they're gonna show up, and they ended up but it got a 5.7, and I'm going to put it at a 6.7. You know what? I'm going to give it a 7. It just a fun movie to watch. I mean, like I say, the dubbing stinks, but 1966. Didn't write the year down, so my apologies on that. Robert Woods was in this movie, and he did something, Small Fish. It's a few years ago that he did that. And then Agata Flori, she's an Italian actress, it looks like, and she did some other spaghetti westerns and Italian crime movies, it looks like, and one of them was Return of Hallelujah, which is a spaghetti western type movie, which I haven't seen yet, so I may dab into that just to see what that movie's like. But yeah, it just was a sit back and just relax kind of movie, nothing too serious, and I think people that aren't Western fans just have fun with it if they're looking for something different. And then it's a Scottish family that likes to get in fights, and there's a bar scene, and then they're fighting amongst themselves just for a good old time. Just something different, and I liked it. It was something something different to watch. Next movie too. This kind of goes into the next two movies are action comedies. Standoff. Now this one 2011. It got a 5.6. There's all kinds of movies called Standoff. This is Brendan Fraser is the one in this one. Basically in Ireland, and it just a bungling holdup just goes wrong. And it is a different movie. If you're not used to the dialogue, the accents of the characters, that could be a little. My parents watched it. I tried to give them something different to watch, and my mom said, "Yeah, they were hard to understand." So that's maybe a little, again, it was funny. It held its own. It's a little off. It's off the wall. But again, something different. If you're looking for, some not the same old kind of movie. Again, 2011, it got a 5.6, and again, I give it a 6.5. I just think, yeah, it holds its own. I mean, there's some scenes or whatever, but for the most part, the storyline takes hold. And my last one's going to be, I haven't done one of these in a while, I think, a Subtitle movie. The Pirates, 2014, South Korean movie, and just silly adventure with pirates. Even following along, it was just, there's your character actors are in the movie where they kind of maybe give them a little too much, but they're there for the slapstick kind of humor in a movie. This got a 6.6, and again, I'd maybe give it a 7. Notch it up again. I think those 3 movies, if you're just looking for something different or out of the norm, totally recommend them. And actors in this, Nam-gil Kim just did something called The Odd Family Zombie on Sale. I saw the title and I'm like, why not? I'll mention that movie. And then Ye-jin Sun is in this, and she did something in the rain. Is something recently she did. Again, all the 3 movies that I just went over. Just if you're looking for kind of a Western comedy, action comedy, I guess a foreign film comedy, action comedy. All 3 of them are worth watching and being entertained with. And that's about it for today. Again, going over the heat thing is just it was pretty wild, a little too much. I hope everybody stays hydrated and drinks plenty of water. I mean, make sure you get your share in. Don't overdo it. I was over at the folks picking weeds for I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. And I was doing it for, I don't even think 15 minutes. And I was doing it today while the was going through. And I was out there for maybe 10 minutes. And all of a sudden I just went in and I was like, wow. So yeah, be careful out there and make sure you drink, again, water. And if you're drinking alcohol, be careful with it. It can totally make your day a little interesting, I guess. So lean towards the water preference. I don't know what else. Oh, and then again, for something cheap, again, Kool Pops. Again, something I found at the dollar store, and thought, why not? It's hot out, and ended up being a nice little treat. So take it easy, everybody, and have a good one.